It's super rainy and wet where I live. Like, it's raining for the majority of the year, which I think is actually why I'm so drawn towards penny boards. I feel that the plastic body just holds up a lot better against the rain and the water than like a traditional skateboard would. However, that being said, it's not all plastic. The trucks, the bearings, and the hardware, that's the screws, the bolts, etc., those are all metal because they have to be metal. And when metal gets wet and you don't dry it properly, which I never do, it creates rust. And there's not really any way to avoid that. That's just what metal does. But a rusty penny board is not a dead penny board. So let me show you a few tips and tricks that I use to bring my penny board basically back to like a like-new state. So there's actually only a few things that you need to clean your penny board properly, and the odds are that you have these in your house already. And if you don't, they're really not that expensive to just go out and get. So number one is a drill. You don't actually need a drill, it just makes it a lot faster. You can just use a screwdriver if that's all you have. You need a Phillips head, which is the little X, and then a wrench. I use a wrench. It would probably be a lot easier to use an actual skate tool, but I don't actually have a skate tool, so a wrench will do. Just something like that. Make sure you buy the right size. These come in a million different sizes, and for a normal person who's not like a handyman at all, it's kind of confusing to navigate around tools. Just kind of eyeball it, look at your nuts and your bolts first, and then go and buy one of these guys. This is a super important one, a little brush. I just use an old toothbrush because, I don't know, I cycle through toothbrushes pretty quickly and I seem to always have an old toothbrush to use, and it's gonna get pretty crusty, so I wouldn't use a new toothbrush unless you don't have an old one, and then just go out and get one. They're pretty cheap. WD-40, I sometimes wish they made something like this, but for humans. WD-40 is amazing if you've never used it before. It's just a spray that basically gets anything moving that's not moving properly. It's awesome. Last but not least, distilled water. It has to be distilled water. Don't ask me why, it just does. This is from Walmart. It was like $1 or $2, super cheap. And then that's all you need. I also recommend laying down a towel before you do this, just so you don't get yelled at, because it's probably going to be a little bit messy. First things first, I like to just go in with a little bit of WD-40 on these super rusty spots, and I'll just give them a little spray and a little scrub down before I take apart the whole penny board. I like to take the whole thing apart just because I feel that it's easier to clean each individual part instead of trying to get into these like nooks and crannies. Okay, a little trick that I like to use to get the trucks off super easy is I'll come in here and I'll get my wrench the right size and lock it down on this bolt, and then come in on the other side with my screwdriver or my drill. This is where the drill makes your life a little bit easier. See how fast that was? Don't be afraid to get in there with the toothbrush on those spots that just aren't coming out nicely. Okay, now that your board's looking all fresh, throw that to the side and let it dry off a little bit. Time to get into the wheels. Okay, so these aren't spinning too horribly just because it is a brand new penny board, but I think we can do a lot better than that. Once again, coming in with that distilled water. Just give it a little run through, a little scrub while we're at it. Okay, now that it's nice and clean and dried off, just the tiniest hit of WD-40, and just look at the difference between the two of them there. I mean, it looks pretty brand new. Throw that to the side to dry, and then repeat for the rest of the wheels. Last but not least, the trucks. Little splash, little squirts, and then little squirt. little before and after of the trucks. Okay, let that dry and repeat. Now that everything is nice, clean, fresh, lubed up, ready to go, it's time to put this penny board back together. Ooh, she's looking fresh. Here, let me give you a little close up. So I was able to get rid of most of the rust in there, but there's still a little bit left. So if you know a way to get rid of rust a little bit better than WD-40, please let me know by leaving a comment in the comment section below. That'd be super helpful. But other than that, I mean, it's looking pretty fresh. The wheels are definitely spinning longer and faster than they used to be, which, I mean, just needs more speed, which is perfect. There you go. That's it. There's not really anything else to say. I hope you enjoyed this video. Hopefully there's a few helpful tips in here. And if you're watching this video and you don't have a penny board, or even if you just want a new penny board, I am giving away a brand new penny board at 2,000 subscribers. So subscribe if you haven't already and stay tuned for that. But other than that, I think that's the end of the video. Like it, subscribe, and watch another video.